Hello and welcome to Who Is Best, a show where I, Cloudane, take obscure games and make tier lists that one day will bring in millions of subscribers and Patreon members to my channel. Thousand Arms is a PS1 hidden gem that is so incredibly different from all other RPGs that it's actually hard to decide if it's a good game or just unique. The battle system is extremely distinctive, but at its core it's simple and spammy. The world is interesting, and the pre-persona dating mechanic that unlocks your party's skills is fun, but kinda broken. The art style is ultimately what stands out, as the hand-drawn pixel art is absolutely breathtaking, even to this day. Today, we'll be examining the 7 playable party members in this odd yet endearing classic. Like I mentioned, the battle system is simple at its core, but it's also unlike anything I've ever played. In Thousand Arms, you can have a party of 3 in battle, but you really only control 1. The front row fighter will be the one that you choose attacks for, while the other 2 will be used for basic support skills, as well as their cheer and taunt abilities unique to each character. This means that we'll be taking into account a character's usefulness not only in the front row, but the back as well. We'll also be considering stats, availability, and moveset. In Thousand Arms, other than one special party member, all other party members' unique skills are unlocked through the dating mechanic. As the main hero dates women throughout the game and gets their affection up in levels, certain skills will be unlocked. This is important for some of the party members and leads to certain characters being broken. A special thanks goes to Fu Man for helping me out with some final touches on the script. I appreciate it. Oh, and stick around till the end for a bonus list. We'll start with the tier. Klee is a fast, multi-hitting crit machine, but unfortunately, all of her stats aside from speed are absolutely worthless, and her moveset is the undisputed worst moveset in the game. Not just that, but she's also a terrible back row party member, as her evasion buff and debuff are negligible at best. If they had been a speed buff and shortened the time it took to attack, then she might have been a useful back row fighter. The low tier. Nela is actually amazing and can possibly be a god tier endgame party member. She is the second best mage and has the most versatile moveset in Thousand Arms. But she's also weird. You see, Nela's skills, unlike other party members, are unlocked by finding dresses that she uses in battle to do a variety of things, such as debuff the enemy's defense while buffing the party's attack, drain HP, or lower enemies' elemental resistance. All in all, she's pretty awesome, but here's the issue. Nela is one of the last party members you'll receive, and her dresses are found throughout the world. Her final and arguably best dress, the schoolgirl, is actually tied to an in-game clock and requires you to wait for about 10 in-game hours before you can acquire it. All in all, Nela just isn't worth the work it takes to make her a viable party member. But that doesn't stop her from being my absolute favorite character in Thousand Arms. The final member of the low tier is Sodina. Sodina is similar to Nela. She's a useful mage with some decent front row attacks and one of the best back row support units when it comes to healing. So why is she here in the low tier? Well, Sodina's accessibility throughout the game is limited to say the least. You lose access to her for a chunk of the mid game, and she isn't available during the second phase of the final boss. Seeing as she's the only one that isn't available during this crucial boss fight, she landed here in the low tier. The mid tier. Yuna is a balanced physical attacker with decent AoE damage. As a back row support, she'll debuff and buff attack, which makes her useful, especially paired with Muza's crit buff. Ultimately, she is a jack of all trades and doesn't excel in any one area. She splits her physical stats with some magic and speed, but all 3 end up being underwhelming, and she lacks the versatility of many other players, leaving her in the mid tier. The top tier. The men of this series definitely end up taking the cake when it comes to best party members. Muza, through the early and mid game, is your best character and a no-brainer for the front row. All of his skills are unlocked by dating Yuna, whom is recruited pretty early, meaning that all his skills can be obtained in the mid game. Now, 2 other characters will surpass him in the late game, but that doesn't mean that Muza becomes completely worthless, as his defense buff and debuff in the back row end up being a decent support. Soshi is arguably the best front row fighter in the late game, as his attack, speed, crits, and ability to multi-hit make him a damaging machine. Though he joins late and is incredibly squishy with low defense and HP, he can potentially put out the most damage in the game with the right support. But that's not all. If you choose to use someone else in the front row, he ends up being the best back row support, essentially casting auto haste and auto slow with his cheer and taunt. So in the end, he caps off our top tier. The God tier. Mize is the best character in Thousand Arms, though this only happens after a certain point in the story. Once you unlock Mize's summons, you also unlock his extreme potential. Mize's summons are some of the best skills in the game, and spamming them will clear almost any battlefield. His taunt is complete garbage, similar to Kylene's, but his cheer is the only one that increases critical hit. Overall, there isn't any reason to not have him on your team. If not in the front dishing out damage, then at least in the back buffing Soshi's critical rate to up his damage. And that's our list. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and if you would like to support this channel, check out the Patreon specific perks by clicking on the link in the description below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bonus round, best character skills go. Number 10, Kylene's Surprise Smash. Number 9, Muza's Tornado Voice. Number 8, Nelsha's Nun Outfit. Number 7, Mize's Flarenial Summon. Number 6, Nelsha's China Girl Outfit. Number 5, Soshi's Fudo Rasengan. Number 4, Nelsha's Soldier Outfit. Number 3, Sodina's Soul Cure. Number 2, Mize's Sodine Summon. And number 1, Nelsha's Nurse Outfit.